Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ Dhammāṃ Sanghaṃ Namasami. I just spoke with Tansudiko's mother on the phone because she had been calling and she was worried about her son, and but nice to talk to her, and she wanted me to pass her greetings on to the Sangha. So one of the she felt very at ease that he's living his dream, living out in the wilderness finally, and is about as socially distanced as you could be anywhere in the world, save Antarctica right now. Being at Dowdum. So there's a chant that is traditionally done in times of, say, sickness or plague. The Ratana Sutta, we chanted it last night and this morning, so I thought I would just read that in English just to give more context and meaning. It's quite short, but we actually don't chant the whole sutta when we do it as a paritta chant. When we do it as a paritta chant, then it's seeing Buddha Dhamma Sangha as true gems in the world, and describing the Buddha as a gem one time, Dhamma twice, Sangha 3 times. But then in the actual sutta, in the Sutta Nipāta, then there's 3 more seeing the Sangha as gems, 2 more seeing the Buddha as gems, and then 1 more after that seeing the Sangha as gems. And it's hard to find a good translation of it. This is about the best I've seen, in my opinion, the new one by Bhikkhu Bodhi. So this is new translation of the Sutta Nipāta by Bhikkhu Bodhi, page 193. And after I read this, I'll read more Reflections from Emptiness by Ajahn Anan. Gems, Ratana Sutta. Whatever beings are gathered here, whether of the earth or in the sky, may all beings indeed be happy, and listen carefully to what is said. Therefore, O beings, all of you listen, show loving kindness to the human population, who day and night bring you offerings. Therefore, being heedful, protect them. Whatever treasure exists here or beyond, or the sublime gem in the heavens, there is none equal to the Tathagata. This too is the sublime gem in the Buddha. By this truth may there be safety. Destruction, dispassion, the deathless, the sublime, which Shakyamuni concentrated, attained. There is nothing equal to that Dhamma. This too is the sublime gem in the Dhamma. By this truth may there be safety. The purity that the Supreme Buddha praised, which they call concentration without interval, the equal of that concentration does not exist. This too is the sublime gem in the Dhamma. By this truth may there be safety. The 8 persons praised by the good constitute these 4 pairs. These, worthy of offerings, are the fortunate one's disciples. Gifts given to them yield abundant fruit. This too is the sublime gem in the Sangha. By this truth may there be safety. Those who strived well with a firm mind, who are desireless in Gautama's teaching, have reached attainment, having plunged into the deathless, enjoying perfect peace obtained free of charge. This too is the sublime gem in the Sangha. By this truth may there be safety. As a gate post planted in the ground would be unshakable by the 4 winds, similarly I speak of the good person who, having experienced them, sees the noble truths. This too is the sublime gem in the Sangha. By this truth may there be safety. That's where the Paritta chant ends, and I'll go on and read the rest, which is about that much again. Those who have cognized the noble truths, well taught by the one of deep wisdom, even if they are extremely heedless, do not take an 8th existence. This too is the sublime gem in the Sangha. By this truth may there be safety. Together with one's achievement of vision, three things are discarded: the view of the personal entity and doubt, and whatever good behavior and observances there are. One is also freed from the 4 planes of misery and is incapable of doing 6 deeds. This too is the sublime gem in the Sangha. By this truth may there be safety. Although one does a bad deed by body, speech, or mind, one is incapable of concealing it. Such inability is stated for one who has seen the state. This too is the sublime gem in the Sangha. By this truth may there be safety. Like a woodland thicket with flowering crests in a summer month, in the first of the summer, just so he taught the excellent Dhamma, leading to Nibbana for the supreme welfare. This too is the sublime gem in the Buddha. By this truth may there be safety. The excellent one, knower of the excellent, giver of the excellent, bringer of the excellent, the unsurpassed one taught the excellent Dhamma. This too is the sublime gem in the Buddha. By this truth may there be safety. The old is destroyed, there is no new origination. Their minds are dispassionate toward future existence. With seeds destroyed, with no desire for growth, those wise ones are extinguished like this lamp. This too is the sublime gem in the Sangha. By this truth may there be safety. Whatever beings are gathered here, whether of the earth or in the sky, we pay homage to the thus gone Buddha, venerated by devas and humans. May there be safety. Whatever beings are gathered here, whether of the earth or in the sky, we pay homage to the thus gone Dhamma, venerated by devas and humans. May there be safety. Whatever beings are gathered here, whether of the earth or in the sky, we pay homage to the thus gone Sangha, venerated by devas and humans. May there be safety. Actually, as a correction there on the 3 homages to the Sangha, or seeing the Sangha's gems in the Paritta chant, it's actually not in order. It does jump around a little bit because that last homage to the Sangha is actually the last stanza in the Paritta chant, the extinguishing of the lamp. So I don't know why they choose only those 3 homages to the Sangha. I've heard that in Sri Lanka they do the whole thing. But before I go on, Lungpa, did you have any comments about the Ratana Sutta?
Well, just thoughts? Maybe the traditional story behind it, and that there's a plague, pestilence, famine, disease in Vesali, and then
the Varanasi?
No, Vesali. Vesali. And then the leaders of Vesali invited the Buddha with the Sangha to come. And then the Buddha had Ananda. And of course this is Dhammapada commentary, or probably Sutta Nipāta commentary. And the Buddha had Ananda go through the city chanting the Ratana Sutta, probably with Sangha, and then they also did. That was one of the origins of the use of like sprinkling of holy water. And then when they, I think as they were walking through the city and chanting, and then a big storm came, and then of course there'd been a kind of a drought, but anyway it sort of was a kind of a cleansing, a fresh start after that.
Yeah, it's worth reading. Anybody who wants to read that story is on page 673 of this new translation of the Sutta Nipāta by Bhikkhu Bodhi, because he translates the commentary as well. And yeah, it says, what is the origin? In the past it said disasters such as famine arose in Vesali, and then they requested the Sangha, the Buddha, to come.
It's also interesting as a complete say, aside, non sequitur, is that when there were things like an event like that, sort of danger to a lot of people, a lot of difficulty, the Buddha relied on the Sangha. And then when there was something that was, say, somewhat threatening on a more individual level, then the Buddha himself. So then, say when Devadatta let the elephant loose and others wanted to go to try to stop it, and this is sort of the Buddha's job to deal with this. But in general, for encompassing large circumstances and people, then he relied on the Sangha, had the Sangha be the representative.
Power of the Sangha.
Yeah.
For quelling disasters.
Yeah.
So this little booklet that I didn't know about that Anagarika Brett was reading from, I was looking through it a bit last night, and quite wonderful actually, quite a good translation as well. And translator chose to remain anonymous, but I have a guess as to a couple of bhikkhus it may have been. But some little inspiring snippets in here. So I'll just read for a little while. I'll start on page 14 of Reflections from Emptiness and just keep going until it feels like it's enough time. The path towards happiness starts with giving. It transforms your ingrained desire to hoard material possessions into an attitude of trying to give up your sense of selfishness. Then you develop morality, which brings a level of calm and ease into the mind. As you progress further on the path of the Dhamma and start to practice meditation, an even deeper level of stillness and tranquility arises in the mind, and you will be able to see the truth of all existence by developing the highest pinnacle of Buddhism, the ability to let go. Never give your heart over to outer things, because when those things change, you'll suffer. Give your heart over to something that doesn't change and cause suffering. Give it to the Dhamma. The aim of every element of the practice you undertake is to make the mind calm. When asked how to gain continual results in the practice, Ajahn Anan answered, "You have to become experienced in the art of doing, neither overdoing it nor underdoing it, but doing just the right amount and doing it continuously." Practice meditation, but do it for the right reason, for the complete destruction of suffering. Sickness simply arises and ceases. Suffering simply arises and ceases. Happiness simply arises and ceases. Good and bad simply arise and cease. Even though these are ultimate truths, you still have to try as hard as you can to develop goodness and abandon immorality. Strive in your search to make the Dhamma the foundation of your life, and at the same time, patiently endure. If the mind succumbs and gets lost in the world, it becomes darker and darker. But if the mind inclines toward the Dhamma, it becomes brighter and brighter. A new day, a new night, or even a new year, none of these have the ability to make the mind new along with them. If there's delusion present, the mind actually becomes older and more decrepit. However, if the mind is developed in wholesome qualities, has a sense of giving, and is intent on doing good deeds, it becomes brighter and newer all the time. Faith is the power of belief and conviction. When you have faith, you'll be diligent and put forth effort in the meditation. As a result of that effort, mindfulness will naturally follow. In turn, mindfulness will cause calm and peace to arise within the mind. When the mind is calm, wisdom will grow, and with wisdom in the mind, faith will become stronger. Meditation practice revolves back and forth like this. From the combined effort you put forth daily, monthly, and yearly, the mind will eventually become calm. When it becomes calm, there will be no more struggling with procrastination because the mind develops a power unto itself. Effort then becomes an automatic process. You need effort to take action and effort to let go. You have to give up everything if you want true calm in the mind. However, even when calm is attained, keeping it is difficult. For example, to keep a mirror spotless, you have to polish it continuously to stop the buildup of dust and grime. Looking after calm in the mind is the same. However, when the practice gets to the level where you deeply comprehend mind and matter as not self, there's no need to look after the mirror anymore, because you know that even the mirror is not self. The only thing worth learning is how to have mindfulness in the present moment. Sometimes you think good thoughts, sometimes bad. Sometimes the mind is calm, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes you have wisdom, sometimes none. The mind has its own natural tendencies, so never attach to it. Simply know it as it is. It is when mental defilements overcome you and become too hard to fight off that you must rely on patient endurance. In meditation, says Ajahn Anan, when good states arise, we become happy and experience pleasure. When bad states arise, we experience aversion and displeasure. He frequently advises practitioners experiencing these difficulties to contemplate in these ways. Look at these states from the perspective of unsatisfactoriness. They're inherently suffering. Alternatively, contemplate from the perspective that these states aren't certain, they're impermanent. Lastly, contemplate that there is no inherent self to be found within these states. Whichever aspect you see it from, you will be able to let these states go. If the mind truly comprehends suffering, it would no longer create attachment to me and mine, and will completely abandon the sense of self. This is the arising of true wisdom. You want a calm mind? Well, you have to work for it by meditating. It's the same as someone who wants to be rich. They have to put in the work because money won't just magically appear. If you don't think your Dhamma practice is at the level it should be, instead of feeling disappointed, be even more intent to make the most you can of this life. If you neglect to put forth effort, wisdom won't arise. If wisdom doesn't arise, all that one experiences will be suffering. Never be negligent. Continually put forth effort to develop wisdom. Whether you're certain or uncertain, both states are unsure. If you really want true happiness, then train the mind to understand all the feelings and emotions it experiences. Whenever you are meditating on a particular Dhamma theme, if it fails to make the mind peaceful and at ease, there's something wrong in your approach. It isn't too hard to teach others. Teaching yourself is a lot harder. While at war, an army needs a fortress, soldiers, and guards to keep protected from the enemy. When you practice the Dhamma, you need morality as your fortress, being watched over by the guard of diligent mindfulness. When attraction attacks the mind, capture it and then let go. When aversion attacks, capture it and then let go. Keep the guard of mindfulness on continuous duty. Avoid getting entangled in feelings and emotions that assail you by knowing that they are one thing and the mind another. If you're able to make the mind deeply calm, you'll have no questions or doubts about what Dhamma theme to investigate. You'll instinctively know for yourself. Whenever you experience praise, happiness, gain, or fame, consider it as simply a natural part of your existence as a human. Similarly, whenever you experience blame, suffering, loss, or disgrace, look on it as just a normal part of your existence. If you only accept things that please you, you'll have trouble when you experience anything unpleasant. Someone who had a lot of troubles came to tell all their problems to Ajahn Anan. After the Ajahn listened to the grievances, he said, "The more you keep your mind with Buddho, the calmer it becomes, and the more your problems disappear." There are many Dhamma teachings out there, but the essence of them all is morality, concentration, and wisdom, sila, samadhi, and panya. The most redundant recurring themes stressed by Ajahn Anan in the daily development of meditation are as follows. Firstly, he encourages, whatever posture you are in, sitting, standing, walking, or lying down, have mindfulness on your meditation object at every moment. Secondly, the Ajahn urges, eat just enough, no moderation in all aspects of life. Be respectful and humble. Learn to give up selfishness. Ajahn Anan frequently relates a question he asked Ajahn Chah as the main turning point in his practice. At the time, Ajahn Anan was starting to gain deep calm in the mind for long periods and wanted to ask Ajahn Chah what to do next. He felt that investigating the body was too coarse to be the fastest way to enlightenment, and that investigating the mind must be the correct method. When he asked Ajahn Chah about this, the teacher responded, "You're asking me this, but right now is your mind calm?" Ajahn Anan recalled the experience. In those days, asking Ajahn Chah about your practice was a huge deal. I was petrified and shaking. I was petrified and shaking like a leaf, more out of fear than anything. I replied that my mind was calm. He told me, and made it more than clear, that if the mind is calm, you have to investigate the body. For me to assume my practice was beyond that point at the time was foolish. I was like a little kid who wants the biggest, juiciest mango on the tree, but the stick I was using to get it was too long and heavy for the job. Ajahn Anan continued, the key lesson every meditator should take away from this is that when the mind is calm, use that calm to investigate the body as impermanent, suffering, and not self. This is because the roots of all defilements are attached to this body. You can go straight to investigating the mind and see the Dhamma, said Ajahn Anan, if you already have a lot of accumulated merit and your practice is very advanced. For example, When the Buddha investigated the 5 aggregates, form, feeling, perception, thought, and consciousness, he broke through ignorance and attained Dhamma. You have to remember, though, the Buddha already had a lot of accumulated merit, and his practice had progressed to the final point. Because of this, he was able to contemplate dependent origination and become enlightened. But normal people like us, even the great Thai forest masters like Ajahn Mun and Ajahn Chah, practiced investigating the body first and taught others to do the same. I'll leave it there for today. Luang Por, did you have any contact with Ajahn Anan at Wat Pah Pong in the early days? Was he around like when you were at Wat Pah Pong?
I first met Ajahn Anan when he was a layman.
Oh.
So he was still working as an accountant at the cement plant in Ayutthaya, and I was at the. I didn't really know him, but he was sort of this keen layman who was coming to the monastery on a regular basis, and then he came and ordained. So he was a little bit younger than me, so I didn't have a huge amount of contact, but certainly some, yeah.
Was he giving alms food? I remember a story of him. He used to try to give alms food every day. I don't know if that was...
I didn't see him on alms round, but then there were several alms routes. But yeah, he was very keen as a lay person.
Something I've noticed, just we're hearing a lot about different Kruvajans or practitioners advanced in meditation. It seems like they all kind of, it's like natural, or they want to focus on the mind as an object of meditation and kind of like passing over the body or not understanding or seeing the importance of that, but then eventually kind of being directed to the body.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just like Ajahn Anan sort of saying, where you think, you want to get on to the it's very much a part of the human condition. We inevitably overestimate our accomplishments and underestimate our obstacles. So that's a pretty consistent quality that hinders us, and then actual aspect of you want to sort of go on to what's more refined. You want to sort of you're drawn to that, and so it's easy to overlook the efficacy or the importance of that contemplation of the body. Yeah, just done with it. I want to get on to the real stuff.
May I ask, when you do body contemplation now at this point in your practice, what type of body contemplation works for you?
Mostly elements. Mostly contemplating in terms of elements. I use the body, but it also tends to be more slanted toward the contemplation of elements and body together.
So you'll check in with the body, how it's feeling, maybe sleep a little bit, just kind of get the tone of the body.
Well, that's more of a sort of a settling and relaxing and grounding quality in the body. But then the actual contemplation of the different aspects, the experience of the body in terms of the heaviness and the actual contemplating hair of the head, hair of the body, nails, teeth, and skin. That are earth element, and that's sort of, and then seeing that, and then bringing it into the different elements, and then contemplating the fluid element, contemplating the breath, as an element, contemplating heat as an element, so that seeing the different experiences of the body within that perspective of elements. But it also has the same or similar flavor in terms of the asubha nature, the unattractive nature, or the kind of worthy of being fed up nature of the body.
And typically that comes later after you're more settled. You settle with
It depends. I might start with that in the sense of, and that helps to settle. Or I might lift it up later as the mind is settling, and then it's starting to, maybe the mind is very settled, it's kind of peaceful, but then it kind of drifts a bit. So then, okay, let's get some meat on these bones and do something that's a bit more grounded.